Good afternoon, folks. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to the inaugural episode of Black Chat Radio here on the Black Independent Media Channel. I'm your host, Joe Jimmy, and let me first explain to you all what exactly Black Chat Radio is. We are a completely independent talk show radio for our community. And when I say independent, we do not have the blade of advertisers and sponsors restricting what we can say. This radio station was started out of the angst that yours truly, Joe Jimmy, felt after listening to various talk shows around the country here in the United States, and just was being so disappointed in how watered down they were. You know, you couldn't say this, you couldn't say that, you couldn't talk about this, you couldn't talk about that, and I often found that some of our hosts who I guess what the establishment would call controversial, they would be fired almost immediately for saying something that what they felt was a little bit too, I guess, a little bit too questionable, as they would put. So anyway, what we aim to do is talk about issues that affect our community and talk about events around the world that affect us, and just try to put a little sense, common sense to the chaos that we call life here on Earth. Once again, I'm your host, Joe Jimmy. This is Black Chat Radio on the Black Independent Media Channel. We are exclusively on the Roku channel network. That is, some of you all, you say, well, what is a Roku? Check out www.roku.com. We are on the Black Independent Media Channel. We are found in the special interest category. Anyway, you can look us up when you get your Roku device. You simply go into what they call the channel store. And in the channel store, you look under the category special interest, and you will find the Black Independent Media Channel there. And there you'll find us, Black Chat Radio. So again, check out www.roku.com, and you'll find all about what the Roku is and how to get in contact with us. Anyway, for today's show, I guess I wanted to, in addition to introducing who we are, I guess I wanted to talk about Black Talk Radio, just the necessity of Black Talk Radio. Do we even care anymore to listen to Black Talk Radio? I see in most cities you have, and again, we are based here in New York, fine city of New York, here in the United States. And I just want to ask you all, because I've been around the country, I've lived in several places, and I always try to tune in to talk radio to kind of get a feel for the city, the heartbeat, as they would say, for the city. And does anyone even care to listen to Black Talk Radio? Do we need it? My answer, personally, aside from the viewers, is absolutely we do. I think that here's what I did. Just when in Houston, Texas, I noticed Houston, Texas, well, just in that instance, but several cities around the country really don't have any Black Talk Radio other than gospel and the Bev show. I remember hearing her. She's syndicated around the country, if you all don't know. But other than that, all I could hear was gospel, and that was pretty much it. There was no Black Talk Radio discussing our issues, however, pardon me, there was actually another show where I remember the host. And I listened for about almost 30 minutes, and I just noticed it was so watered down. It was so watered down, and so almost irrelevant, the show. So I wanted to ask you, how many of you all listen to talk radio? And number two, is it something that you do regularly, or just on a blue moon? Or because right now, if in any major city here in the United States, you turn on talk radio, and you have very few black talk radio hosts. We have few talk radio hosts that hosts and shows. I'm sorry, that actually give you something that you want to listen to. Just something that is pertinent. That's something that that is real. And not corporatized, as I would call it, corporatized talk radio, where you can almost feel the beads of sweat drip down the host's forehead as he or she's talking, because those advertisers and those sponsors are sitting right there behind them, like I said, with that blade in hand, and say, you better not say this, you better not say that, because they'll cut them loose. The minute you saw a little bit too much of that radical blackness, oh man, they'll cut you loose. They'll cut you loose and they'll throw you in the trash. So we aim to get away from that here. We are a liberatized talk radio show. We are not bound by anybody here. Of course, we cannot discuss illegal topics, or something that breaks the law, what have you, or stuff like that. We don't want to get ourselves in any legal problems. But then again, the matters that rather the powers that be, we are much more able to speak our minds here without anyone's permission. So that being said, today's topic, our inaugural show, is: do you listen to black talk radio in your city? Is there any black talk radio? When I talk about talk radio, something of substance, not just gospel and the rap music. That's a whole different discussion that I don't even that's not today's topic. But do you listen to talk radio? And what are your thoughts on it? Check out our blog. It's at blackchatradio.blogspot.com. That's blackchatradio.blogspot.com. And I want you to leave your comments there. I want you to talk about it. We want to know your thoughts on talk radio in general. Would you listen to black talk radio? Are you interested in it? What are your thoughts on it? What do you like about the state of it? What do you don't like about it? Also, you can throw in what your thoughts are on media and black media in the United States. For my own, and I'll throw in my own personal opinion, I think that we are woefully underrepresented in all facets of be it radio, television. We got a few here and there, but radio, television, I think we have been much maligned and pretty much thrown by the bus, thrown under the bus rather. Just with the offerings you see out there, you see in movies right now. Recently, the film about the Tuskegee Airmen was released. We're talking 2012 here, February 2012, and recently the film with the Tuskegee Airmen. I forget the title of it, and excuse me for that. Some of you all, but anyway, that film was recently released. But when you look at, for example, just over the past year, very few black films or films with a prominent black cast were put out at all. Okay, and the key phrase is prominent black casts. I'm not talking about you have maybe a few black characters that are basically side dishes, or just there for the for the liberal community to see a black face there, but I'm talking about a prominent black cast that talks about, or rather has stories and issues we can relate to. Very few, and I just think that it's for that reason alone. Yours truly, Joe Jimmy. I've really stopped going to the movies. I've stopped going to the movies. Folks, let me be honest with you. I have not been to the movies in almost a year now. Honestly, I have not. I mean, there's nothing out there that I care to see. I think it's a lot of these, what I would call these silly. They got these movies about the robots and the flying this and this and that, and I'm like, this is just, man, none of this is worth my time or money. But that's just me talking, of course. I mean, I'm just one small man in a huge world. But anyway, folks, this is the inaugural episode of Black Chat Radio, found exclusively on the Black Independent Media Channel, or the BIMC, on the Roku network. You can find us in the special interest category on the channel store on your Roku, and we thank you for tuning in, and we'll be right back. All right, folks, this is your host, Joe Jimmy, back on the air. Anyway, we wanted to go ahead and wrap up today's show. I wanted to remind you all that we are exclusively on the Black Independent Media Channel, or the BIMC, on the Roku network. For more information on the Roku, go to www.roku.com, and you will find the BIMC within the special interest category. This is your host, Joe Jimmy. And that's it for today's show. We want to thank you all for tuning in. And remember to leave your comments at our blog. That's blackchatradio.blogspot.com. That's blackchatradio.blogspot.com. We'd love to hear from you. And, chime in on today's show. Is there a need for Black Talk Radio? Do you listen to it? We just want to get your vibe on that and what your thoughts were. So thank you all for listening, and tune in for next week's show, where we'll be discussing, I don't know, whatever comes to mind. It'll be interesting and entertaining. You can better believe that. So this is your host, Joe Jimmy, and peace out.